Hello, everybody. It's my privilege to introduce to you, all the way from the south side of Chicago, the man, the myth, the legend, my Theo, your brother, the Southside Unicorn.
Hey, it's your boy Ken Whitehorse of the Southside Unicorn Show. It's Friday. I hope you're out there doing something really fun. I hope wherever you are, you're making somebody smile. I'm hoping somebody's making you smile too. We need a lot more of that and a lot less of the stuff we've been seeing. You know, it's so crazy. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, we were in quarantine, y'all. We were locked up. We were put up like a coat in a closet. And the best we can do the minute we start getting back out into the fresh air and all of that is go right back to doing the same foolishness we were doing before COVID, before the COVID quarantine. I thought we learned something. I thought, some of us who were entertaining the greatest fears of death and all those things, I thought we learned something. I thought, it's sort of like when you have a near death experience. Some people are like, Lord, 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 if you let me live out of this, if you let me get out of this, I'm gonna be a whole different person. I'm gonna do something totally different. That's the kind of stuff we do until we're okay again, until you're out of danger or you believe you're out of danger, until you end up in another place. You make all these promises of how good you're going to be, how nice you're going to be to everybody, and all the people that you mistreated, you're going to catch up with them and tell them how sorry you are and all of that. Has anybody done that since we've been released, quote unquote, from the COVID quarantine? Nah. We got young brothers back out there on the streets, knowing they got warrants for their arrest, doing foolishness. And then when a law enforcement agent makes contact with you, you resist an arrest. Damn. We were better off with the quarantine going on. At least you was up in the house and wasn't causing no mischief. Now I feel bad for this female officer who allegedly pulled her taser and popped this young man. It's a struggle for me because I've carried both. I'm tired of hearing this, oops, I grabbed my I grabbed my weapon instead of my taser crap. You would think after Fruitvale, everybody would have learned, I need to make sure I'm grabbing my taser. I need to make sure I'm grabbing my taser. If that's the thing you want to do, and don't tell me it's because you're in an exigent situation, and don't try to cover it up by saying, well, she was right to shoot him if she wanted to. But that's not what she said. She said she meant to tase him, then reach for the right weapon. If I said I meant to mace you and I end up popping you, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's a different level of force. She wanted to use a lower level of force. You don't get to give her a pass on the higher level of force, especially when his back was turned. Which brings me to the other part of this equation. There have been 2 shootings now in the last month, one in San Bernardino, and now it appears again in Minnesota, where a person was shot in the back. Those 2 officers are going to be facing charges. Now, the one in San Bernardino, I say it was a totally good shoot because the brother had a Mohaski in his hand and he had it kind of angled behind him and he was going to bust a cap under his shoulder at this cop. And the cop just beat him to the draw. That's all that was. Cop beat him to the draw. So on that one, no money for the family. Charge this cat posthumously for every damn crime he was about to commit when that officer unfortunately took his life. That's how that one goes. Shooting this young man in the back because he had warrants, because you can show Facebook videos of him brandishing weapons on his video. No, that one's going to come with a price. But now, the one, because there's 3 shootings where somebody was basically shot from behind. That third one is a United States Air Force veteran, female, at the Capitol, unarmed. She got shot all up in the back of her neck and head. They won't even tell you who did it. and they're all but about to pin a medal on this cat. What's going on, y'all? We call that the carrot and stick, is what we call that. If you ever want to see how you take a law enforcement organization and turn them into jackboot stormtrooping thugs, you use a carrot and a stick. It's real easy. When I was a guest co-host on the Lou Desmond and Company show, a state executive for the universities was on the show, and I said it even 5 years ago. This is exactly where we're headed. That's why they're trying to scare the cops with, we're going to take your money too, cancel culture. We're going to take your money too. Now, these people running scared. And I hate to say that, but it's true. That's where the Ferguson syndrome comes from. What else is it? So now you got these cats, got these mortgages, got these CDs, got all these bills and kids and a life they're trying to live, and they see now who has the power. It ain't the cat in the tower. No, it's those city council members and union members and Congress people talking about we have to defund the police and this and that. And because of how they did the 3 shootings, one cop facing prosecution, the one in San Bernardino. Another cop facing prosecution, the one in Minnesota. But the cop at the Congress who shot an unarmed American civilian, no charges, no identification, everything is good. See, if you kill the people we want you to kill, you'll do good. You'll live good. We'll take care of you. But if you kill our carrot, we're going to hit you with a stick. Huh? America, look, I am an acolyte of Rush Limbaugh from the day he aired on KFI AM 640 when he said, give me a week and I'll change your life. I thought that was a wild boast. He changed my life, Rush Limbaugh. And I would say of the umpteen years that he was on the air, I couldn't fill a calendar with the days I missed the show. So when it comes to quote unquote, when it's time to panic and all of that, you're not going to get that from me. One, I don't know how to do that one. When you panic, you die. Panic on an airplane in a crisis situation. Panic in a crowd. When you panic, you die. Rush Limbaugh was right. It's never time to panic. Then you got Dr. Sebastian Gorka. He's saying, if you give up, we don't need you. If you're the type that are going to quit, we don't want you on our team. Hey, that's cool. And I almost agree with that. But you don't get to say that. We're all Americans, and we're all here on different degrees and different levels. Okay? And some of you are entertaining your greatest fears right now. Some of you are scared. Chastise yourself and start looking for an abunction of courage. And then when you find it, because you're going to find it, you're going to find that much courage within yourself. You will. I know you will. When you find it, use it. And then ask yourself, where can I apply this much courage? We can't afford to discount any of us at this point in time. Because while I respect the acumen and pedigree of Dr. Sebastian Gorka, the math isn't on our side. It really isn't on our side. When you consider how many patriotic, God-fearing Americans there are, you're talking maybe 90 million of us, maybe 100 million. When you're talking people who hate this nation and would love to see it fundamentally transformed, or even better, more clear, destroyed. You're talking almost 2 to 3 billion people. So I don't subscribe to telling anybody they're not welcome in trying to help with the fight, no matter where their mindset is right now. You know, they say Patton did more to win the war by slapping a soldier who was being a little bit of a coward. Patton walked up and, smacked homeboy. And it spurred everybody else on. We can't discount anybody here. And I really mean this. If you're about America, your ego has no place in this battle. Your ego is part of the problem. Check that at the door. For those of you who have been in the Republican Party, and I, you know what? I have a right to say this. I have a right to say this. Am I saying don't be here? No. I mean, am I coming at Dr. GORKA kind of, funky? I am, because he had no right saying that. You don't get to say that. I like the way and this is to my I don't know what they call him. This is to Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Alexander the Great said it best. He said, if I fall in battle, it is not your king that is fallen, but yet another soldier for Greece. You're just another soldier, Dr. Gorka. You're not the titular head. You're not the leader. And I was really ticked off when I heard you say that certain people aren't welcome here just because they have a different viewpoint, just because they say we might be, done. That's their viewpoint. Our job is to convince them otherwise, not tell them to go away. Because Dr. Gorka, if you tell them to go away because they feel that way, where do you think they're going? Who do you think they're going to side up with? They're going to side up with the ones they think are the winners. They're going to side up with the ones that's going to bring them in and welcome them in and maybe even rub them on the head and coddle them a little bit. Now there's one more we lost. We can't afford to lose nobody. So check your egos at the door. Oh, and where was I? I was on those people who have been in the Republican Party less than 10 years. Those who have come to the Republican Party because you have an epiphany. Hell, maybe it's because there's, some dollar signs around there. Some people say if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Some of you even voted for Obama. And then you became enlightened conservative Republicans. I'm talking to you. I came across some people like that, like about 4 or 5 years ago, I believe, 3 years ago at a red carpet event. Yeah, I did. And I told them to their faces, because that's how I roll. I told them to their faces, don't bring that Democrat dank to the Republican Party. You leave it at the door. You learn how we roll. You learn how we get down. And you'll be most welcome all the time. But weaponizing vaginas and throwing accusations and all of that, that's Democrat crap. We don't do that here. Now, all of us aren't Christians. All conservatives aren't Christian. But a predominant guiding principle of the Republican conservative movement is a Judeo-Christian ideation. And from that, we say, bear no false witness against anyone. Don't be gossiping. When you gossip, you kill someone. And that's an ugly, nasty thing to be doing. And we don't do that here. That's for the Democrats to do. Dr. Laura Schlesinger said it best. She said, and it was, when she was on KFI, I listened to her often too. She said that when you gossip, you do kill a person, you destroy them. And you could go right back to every single person that you slandered or gossiped or lied about that person to. And you could take them hardcore evidence that you were lying, that you were wrong, that you are sorry, that that person is innocent, that they should be forgiven or whatever. And do you know over half of them will not believe you then? Don't do it. Don't be running around here casting aspersions on each other. Don't violate President Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment. Do no harm to fellow Republicans. I'm really not happy. Oh, but that reminds me, uh, congressional candidate, is that the right term to use? Congressional candidate Joe Collins said it best. For those of you who are seeking public office, we're here to support you. We need you in the halls of the Senate and Congress, and perhaps even the Oval Office. For some of y'all, I mean, the trajectory goes that way. You never know how far a person's political career is going to go. We need you guys to go do that. That's the calling that's on your life. You know, I ran for political office a few times. I held a couple offices. Hell, I was the president of the Ritchie Canyon School Psych Board for 5 years running. Got elected every year overwhelmingly because I led it with integrity. I led it with a vision for our children, all children. And all the parents just unanimously continued to vote me in for 5 years. And then when my stepchildren were no longer a part of that school system, I realized I should step down and let someone else run. But most of the principals were chasing me down and saying, no, 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 you need to run again. You need to run again. Then, I stuck my foot in and I tried to run for city council in my local city that I lived in at the time. Woo, that's some hard work. That is, oh my goodness, that's some hard work. I'd like to thank my campaign managers for keeping me going. I mean, they put me in the cars and were like, you're going here, you're going there, you're doing this. Oh, you're speaking to these people next. And I was just totally in awe of the entire political process when it comes to running for an office. I wasn't successful. But what I'm trying to say is I support what Joe Collins said in his video, I think it was a few days ago. You can't be a politician and an influencer at the same time. And newsflash to you, when you get into office, you're not going to be able to do some of the things you think you can or want to do. You have a certain role you have to play. And then, you got to check your ego and let other people be who they are and let them do what they do to help you, to support you, to get things done in places you're not going to be able to get them done in. But if you think you can just bogart and get it all done, you the whole package, you everything, then you're not really anything. We don't need that. I don't know of any conflict in the American history where one man, and I mean, we got Lieutenant Audie Murphy. Okay, granted, I got to give Audie Murphy some props. You guys need to look him up and figure out who he is. He started off as an enlisted man. He's a short guy, short stature. This man was Dolomite. White boy, Dolomite. Yeah, Lieutenant Audie Murphy, he did some stuff, but ain't no one person the end all be all to anything. So we got those types in the party. You got to stall that. You gotta make room for everybody. See, the trick of it is, if you're on a firing line and you thinking you can put your hands in two triggers and then run over here and pull these triggers too, you're worse than the enemy. Make some room so somebody else can get next to you with their gap. The more people you got on the firing line with their straps, the more effective you are. Ooh. Well, I got an M60. I can fire more bullets by myself. No, you can't. You can fire the bullets you got. But if you make room for everybody, that's one more person on the line that can be firing at something you might not even see. We got a tough time ahead of us, y'all. And I've been sitting here preaching to you and talking to you for 5 years. I can do no more than what I'm doing, and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep on talking. But see, here's where like that ego stuff and all that just hurts us all, because look, you go back and check my stuff. I haven't been wrong about anything I've said. Do I have a perfect presentation platform? No, I don't. Do I have a big old giant studio? No, I don't. And I'm not kindling myself to that. I'm just making a point. John the Baptist was walking around with locusts and honey and bees all around him, looking a little bit on the cray-cray side. But who was he? What was he doing? I've been trying to put us on tip for 5 years. And what's so sad, what's so frustrating, our enemy knows me better than you do. That's why they have me bottle capped. That's why they got me shadow banned. That's why even my podcast, I don't get paid for them. I can't get paid for them. Any podcast I do, they have them set for download. I had 10,900 people listen to my show the other night. And wouldn't you know it, every last one of them was a download, which means yours truly didn't get a dime, didn't get bupkis. 10,000 people listened to my last show from beginning to end with over 7 commercials in it. And I didn't get a damn dime. They know who's dangerous to them and they know who's not. I look at it this way. If you got the ball and nobody on the other side of the team is chasing you down before you get to the hoop, that's because they know you're going to miss. That's because they know you're a terrible shot. They stick the man that they know is going to go all net. Am I blowing my own horn? No, I'm not. I'm simply asking you all, you gotta help me. You gotta pass the show on to everybody that you see, and let's start getting our minds together about what's going on, because CNN ain't gonna tell you. Channel 2, 5, 7, and 11 ain't gonna tell you. We got work to do, y'all, and we all need to play a part. Half the problem we got, and I don't know if it's half the problem or more than half of the problem we have right now, is on our own team. One, look at them cats up there in the Senate. They ain't doing a damn thing. I don't care about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and whatever the hell they doing. We really should be focusing on the fact of how damn quiet our so-called political leaders are on the GOP side. And yet we got all this young blood, all this powerful, energetic people ready to get up in there. And these old cats is up there watching the Democrats just beat us down. They mollywomping us, boom, boom, boom. And they just sitting there. I don't care about what Biden's doing. I care about how much pushback he's going to get. The man's trying to stack the Supreme Court. They're trying to do to the vote nationally what they've done to California. And sadly, what they've done in California, we need National Guard intervention here. We need the National Guard to literally come into the state of California and remove the governing bodies in Sacramento, because they've set in a pick and a play that can never be broken. It's the Gordian knot. They have set in a play in California, a Gordian knot, where it's almost impossible for someone who doesn't toe the line with them to win a political office. Now they're trying to do it to the United States of America. And what we got? People whispering and gossiping on each other. Disgusting. It's damn disgusting. And now, back to what I was saying about Dr. Sebastian Gorka. I guess he said that you shouldn't be in the Republican Party if you think we're done, if you think we have lost, if you think we should give up. He said you shouldn't be here if that's how you believe. Well, here I go now. Because I'm going to say you shouldn't be here if you still stink like a Democrat. If you're still doing your Democrat ways in the Republican Party, get look out of here. We ain't got time for this, y'all. Our president got, just blindsided. All these rallies and this and that and this, that, and the other thing. I was on a panel down in San Diego briefly. I was down in San Diego, and thank you all. It was the first annual Lexit rally that they had, and it was a great success. But I just had a little bit of time on that panel, on that stage. Still can't find most of the video to it. But what I was telling people, because I wasn't up there trying to smile and grin and skin with them, I was trying to tell people You build up the courage to go sit at the polls because it doesn't matter who votes. It matters who counts the votes. Our message was off. Our message was off. All we should have been focusing on was getting busfuls of people to become poll workers and guarantee their safety by letting them know we are here. We have tens of people that are beyond 150-foot, requirement so that there's not voter interference like they want to do down in Georgia. And start getting our people in there where there's some integrity in the voting process so that there's not paper put up on the window so you can't see what's going on. So they don't call for lunch breaks and make you leave the polling place while they reach down under their table and start pulling stuff out. We can't have that no more. And then they tell you it's the big lie. There's no such thing as a big lie. The devil is the worst thing to ever exist in the universe. And his ability to influence those that would subscribe to him is incredible. What he can teach them to say out of their mouths, they're worse than an NFL player. They can just roll and pick and jump over you to still get to the goal line. It doesn't matter how we try to stop them, they have an answer for it. You stole the general election of 2020. Prove it. Well, you can't prove fraud. Are you guys prepared to see that happen in 2022? Hey, if you're gonna ask me what I did, I got my pens. I was an election official. Got my little gold pen with the latches so you can put how many years of service you've had working the polls and supervising the polls. I am doing my part. I've been a site president of school systems. I run for political office. I own a business. I reach into the inner cities to try to hire young people. I work the polls. But these are the things we need to be focusing on more. Everybody can't be a congressman. That's like these kids with the hoop dreams. Every last one of them think they're going to be the next NBA star. How many of them never make it? Some of us need to, as I like to say, get in where you fit in. If that's mailing out mailers, you do that. If that's donating money to somebody that you know is going to put it to good use, you do that. If you're in the medical field, start putting your names out there. Doctors, what do you call them? Gosh darn it, I'm trying to remember the name of them right now. They're not doctors, but they're like doctors. Nurses, all of you guys. We need everybody to start declaring what it is that they can do so we can start doing for ourselves. You wanna call Coca-Cola Woca-Cola, and you want us to boycott them and whatnot. How? My boy Mo Kelly on KFI, he has his own show, the Mo Kelly Show. He pointed it out. I was like, whose side are you on? Because you damn sure making me feel down. But he brought up a great point. Man, these companies are, and here's the word, ubiquitous. They're everywhere. They got their fingers. I mean, you're drinking Dasani water. You're still hooking them up. You go to particular movie theaters. You still hooking them up. So how do we stop this incredible landslide of Marxism and socialism that's just coming down on America like just goobs and gobs of mud, but it ain't mud? How are we going to stop it? By what means do we have as regular people to be able to fix this? Well, for you white folks, and I'm just having fun with this. Don't think I'm being racist or nothing. I'm really not. For you white folks, we got to help y'all because they got these new programs out where they're trying to teach you to feel guilty for being white. Those programs need to be shut down and stopped right now. Right now. Not one more county, not one more state, not one more whatever should do those programs. And I'm advocating that everybody walk out. The only person that should be left in one of those meetings is let me find a nice word for this. The person who is teaching the class, they should be the only one on the Zoom screen or in the room or whatever. Everybody else, all Americans, should get up and walk out. That's how we fix that one for our white brothers and sisters who are being abused by critical race theory. Because if that crap goes on much longer, whoo, it just gets worse and worse because worse got worse, the worse was worse. For our Latino brothers and sisters, speak out about how you feel about immigration, illegal immigration, and start being vocal about it so that they can't use your people as a cudgel to beat the hell out of all of us. Oh, the children of this and that. That one's your battle. Please, I know some people who are very vocal about it. They got much love for them. The Lexit team is on fleek. Notice that came out of me real deep. Them people, I have nothing but admiration and respect for Lexit. They ain't playing. They ain't playing at all. You know what I'm saying? I wish that other organizations would be as serious about what they're doing as Lexit is. Lexit is all inclusive. I mean, I've seen people that ain't Lexit, or would that be Latino exit? You know what I'm saying? But they're welcome, and they're added to the mix, and it's moving forward, and they got agendas and plans, and everybody is welcome. I talked about the white folks and what we need to do with that. I've talked about our Latino brothers and sisters and what they need to do with that situation. Drum roll, please. Now I'm going to talk about the brothers. If we don't start reaching into these inner cities like Joe Collins does, the man goes right into the heart of the matter. We all need to be going. We all need to be welcomed. If you got a project or a program that's going into the inner city, take somebody else with you. I know what I'm talking about. And we better not wait until it's so damn late that you can't resist going, Kenny was right. Now is the time. But you got to check your egos for that. We need to begin to clean up our own communities in this one regard. The damage that was done to our children's minds by wicked leftists, I guess some people would like to say by white liberals. I don't know. I'm not going to put a color on it. I'm trying to, I don't even want to really be there, but I have to for a minute. There has been a number done on the African American community in America. This country meant well. The war on poverty, the war on crime, the war on drugs, all of that was well intended. It really was. And yet we lose focus of this one thing. America was designed for a moral and just people. That's one of the greatest elixirs of what makes this thing work. If you bougie, if you're evil, if you have your heart bent towards socialism, Marxism, lying, power, pedophilia, all these things, if your mind is twisted in that direction, this country was not made for you. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands. But when it said, this land was made for you and me, it is an assumption. It is an assumption that you are a just, immoral person. The very fiber of the African American youth has been warped. It has been corrupted. I think if you were to compare some of our young people to Sodom and Gomorrah, even the Sodomites would go, damn, what you doing? We have come off the skids and they're loving it. It's like when I think about Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer was the warm-up man. He was the one warming us up for debauchery and lasciviousness and making it cool. Connections there, anybody? So for the African American team, our mission lies within our own community. I understand about law enforcement. I understand it from all sides, actually, because when I was growing up as a young man on the south side of Chicago, I seen some things. I seen some things. And I was like, that ain't right. Brothers just, I mean, it's a nice warm summer day. They all got their cool clothes on, shoes looking good, and you can see the brothers shaking that change in their pocket because they got paid, so they got a little money in their pocket and whatnot. And it was a good day for them until that paddy wagon rolled up. And as young men, we get to see the men that we were looking up to being treated in god awful ways, heads busted, blood on the ground, thrown in the paddy wagon, and you don't see them again until Monday. And when you see them on Monday, their clothes is all disheveled. They look like they ain't slept right because they just got out. And then the whole neighborhood feels funny, and lights in your face and spotlights through your window. I've been through all of that. As a black businessman, when the Lord blessed me to be able to own, my Jaguar that I had flown in from Great Britain, because I didn't want no bougie American Jaguar. Oh no, I wanted mine to be the real deal, so I had it shipped over from Great Britain. Pretty she was, and pretty she was. So when I knew I was going to a business meeting in Huntington Beach or this or that, and I don't normally talk about this stuff because I don't really want us to focus on it, but I'm saying it to make a point so you understand. I'm not just sitting there trying to hand you no cotton candy pipe dreams. I live this too. I used to have to add 45 minutes to an hour to my travel because invariably, okay, for example, if I, with my cool little, what are those things you put in your visor that helps you go through the toll booth? I didn't have to pay for a toll. It was in my visor. Just rolled through. That's how I was doing it until I got in the closer areas. If I went to Orange County or Huntington Beach or whatever, or Fountain Valley or whatever, I would go there maybe 10 times a month. Of those 10 times, I got pulled over 3 times. One of the cops the minute he pulled me over, he said, "Whose car is this?" I didn't even say a word to him. I put my hands on the steering wheel. My registration, my license, and my insurance was good. I handed it to him. He looked at me. He threw it. Didn't even hand it back to me. Threw it in my car and said, "I'm going to let you off with a warning," and went back to his bike. One time I'm here in San Bernardino on the 215, headed up towards Victorville. I see the cop behind me. I'm doing 55, 50, 60 miles an hour, totally within the lines, right? Homeboy at the speed, and you know how that goes. He's at a speed that he should have just shot right by me, because you can see him coming up. So he's at a pretty good clip. So you can see he should have shot right by me. And he almost did. But he looked over, and by the time he got a little bit ahead of me, he slowed down, fell in behind me, and pulled me over. Woo! Is this your car? Sometimes, I swear, one time I got out of my car going into my office and I almost wanted to kick it. I was so mad. I'm like, because I own this car, I get pulled over all the damn time because it was the most exquisite gunmetal gray, chrome everywhere Jaguar. Beautiful. My Corvette almost drove him absolutely nuts. But anyway, what I'm saying is this. I've been through all of that, and I still became a peace officer. It was something I've always wanted to be ever since I was a kid. My friend Steve did the same thing. He's still working active duty in Chicago after 30 years. Get ready to retire, Steve. We got some partying to do, brother. So I'm saying to you young people out there, when you get pulled over, if you don't comply for you, do it for everybody that you love. Do you think these moms want that money, or do you think they want you? I think your moms want you. So please comply. Because what I want you to get in your head is this: as you're dealing with that peace officer, whether he's right, wrong, or otherwise, everything you're doing right then and there will have ripples. You can have a warrant for your arrest, and you can go to jail like you're supposed to. And you can do it by submitting and putting your hands behind your back and accepting the arrest and the authority of that officer. And you would have done the black community a great turn. And we'll be grateful to you for it. Because, see, thinking only for yourself with your ego, thinking only for yourself with your pride, thinking only for yourself with your conditioning, you are doing a greater disservice to the black community than you could ever imagine. Because when you die, and die you will, now those left behind, because those of us who are still alive can see it. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? The people in your neighboring community and perhaps around America, they're going to go burn and loot and tear some stuff up, while the rest of our brothers and sisters who are the Latinos I spoke of, who are the white people I spoke of, who are the Asians, they're looking and they're watching. And the system is working as best it can. We have to live within the system. If there is no system, if there is no law enforcement, you can't handle what's going to come. Everything that we have earned and gained in this world and in this society and in this country has come by rule of law. Do you understand that there was a time when a cop could have pulled you over and done any and everything they wanted to do to you, and absolutely nothing would happen? Absolutely nothing would happen. That's not true anymore. And this is the best system we got, y'all. I'm talking to you young people right now. There is no better system. You're sitting here saying we're going to defund the police and we're going to take 30% of that money and put it into social services and mental health and all of that. You can do that without taking that money. Look at all the money we spend all around the world. Look at all the people living in hotels right now getting 3 hots in a cot, plus money, and probably lining them up with cars, and they weren't even born here. You lying to yourself, to the future, and to any hope we have of getting this right when you think like that. How much more twisted can you be? Oh, we need to take this away from the cops and give it over here. You don't need to take a damn thing away from the cops. Should some of them be trained better? Yes. Should some of them be fired? Yes, right here, right now, today. The only way we're going to get down to that and start truly, and this is one of those tricky words, but here it comes, cleansing our nation. The only way, the right way to cleanse our nation is if you do your part. If you do your part. Okay, you guilty. You're going to do 6 months or a year or 2 years. I'm thinking about the young man that got blown away because the officer allegedly was reaching for a taser and popped him in the back. What was he, 20 years old? Who could he have been 20 years from today if we, that's you and me, start fighting the real battle, which is getting in these trenches with these winches and take our children back. Take them back from these school systems. Take them back from CNN and Don Lemon. Take them back from the athletes who have totally disrespected and squandered every gift and respect and homage we've ever given them. You know, Charles Barkley is close to someone that, you know, we should listen to and admire, and he says it himself, I'm not your role model. For a while, we should declare, and I'm talking about the black community, we should declare a moratorium on sports. Has it been a gateway for our children to get through and get to something better? Of course it has. But it's been soured. It's been morphed. And if I try to tell you who's doing it, you might turn this off already if you haven't done so. The Chinese are using that for every bit that they can. I was honored to have Dan Bongino, like one of my posts. The post was about the bifurcation of America, which we'll get into on another video, because this This is me spreading my legs and trying to see, you know, how this works. I see everybody else doing it. I'm gonna go ahead and start doing it too. Why not? Dan Bongino totally agreed with me when I said we should bifurcate America. Bifurcation, definition, to break in half, to split, to separate. When the Democrats stole the general election of 2020, we should have bifurcated America that day. So right am I. So spot on was I. YouTube pulled my video. There was no profanity. There were no falsehoods in it. It was all facts and my personal opinions. And YouTube pulled it saying this goes against our community standards. No, it didn't, people. It was something they don't want you to ever think about. Because see, okay, look, we just want to get away from them. We don't want to live the way they live. I don't want to see nobody sliding down a pole into hell, getting bumped in the butt by the devil. I don't want to see that. So I'd like to get out from underneath it. And don't tell me I got to change my channel. I don't even want to be in the environment where that kind of stuff is happening. We just want to get out from underneath it. We wanted to go to Parler, to Gab, to Post, what is it, Postal, whatever? We wanted to go anywhere but where they were. And what did they do? What did they do? They attacked those sites and shut them down. They took my video that warned America, now is the time to bifurcate from the Democrats, from the leftists, from the we got it all figured out folks. It's time to get away from them. And they destroyed the video. Why? Because they don't want just some. Evil has never just wanted some. Evil wants it all. And they want some people they can kill too. So since you're not with them, since you're not down with them, let's just start banning guns. Let's just start getting rid of the Second and First Amendment. Let's just start making these people unable to defend themselves. Because see, we got to have some people to feed to the lions. Just like our predecessors did back in the day. The left needs you silenced. The left needs you without your weapons so they can feed you to the lions while they eat popcorn in the Coliseum. The new one, you know, the ones that are being built all around America. Why is it that Coliseum dwellers have never been treated well or mentioned well in the Bible? There's a reason for that. Think about it. I think I went a little bit long in the tooth on this one, no pun intended. This is me stretching my legs. So you tell me what you think about it. Chime in on it. Give me your responses. And we'll go from there. This is Kim White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show. Thank you for listening. I'm out.